Do you have a little one who is learning their name? Maybe they are learning to recognize it in print, maybe they're learning to spell it, or maybe they're even learning how to write it. If so, you are in the right place. My name is Erin. I'm from littleslovelearning.com, and I am here to share with you 5 tips for how to help your little one learn their name. This is especially important for all of our preschool and pre-K friends who are going to be heading to kindergarten in the next year or two. We want them to be able to do so much with their name before they walk into that kindergarten classroom that we're going to build that foundation now while they're still young. Don't worry, all of these ideas are super simple, super easy. You can implement them at home, or if you're a teacher, you can implement them in your classroom. Here we go. Tip number 1 is playing with the sounds in your little one's name. So for your little one's name, you want them to be able to know the beginning sound of their name, the ending sound of their name, how many syllables are in their name, if their name rhymes with anything, and if they can, the individual sounds in their name. That is phonological and phonemic awareness. When they're hearing these sounds in a word, this time it's their name, and they're able to play with those sounds, and they're able to isolate them, and they're able to change sounds to make rhyming words. We want them to be able to do all of that with their name first. So, for example, if your little one's name is Jill, you could ask her questions like, Jill, what's the first sound in your name? Not letter, just sound. J, Jill. Then she would know it's J. What about the last sound in your name? Jill. That's the last sound I hear in your name. You could talk about the syllables in Jill's name. Jill, how many syllables are in your name? Let's clap it. Jill, 1 syllable. You could also hum it, which is a fun way to practice syllables. 1 syllable. You could ask Jill if she can think of any words that rhyme with her name. By rhyming, she can just change the beginning sound of Jill to something else to make a rhyming word. Let's see. Jill, Hill. Do those rhyme? Jill, Hill, these words rhyme. They sound the same at the end. I love that rhyming song. I have another video all about rhyming that I'll link below. You can also help Jill to segment all of the sounds in her name so she can hear how those individual sounds blend together to make up her name. So for Jill's, it would be J, I, U, Jill. Those individual sounds are blended together in her name. So playing with the sounds in your little one's name is so important for later reading success, and we want to start it with a word that's so familiar to them, their own name. There's not a more important word for them than their own name. If you're in the classroom, or even if you're at home, here's a fun song that you can sing before you start practicing some of these skills. It goes like this. Hickety, pickety, bumblebee. Won't you say your name for me? Then you could have the little one say their name, and then you could ask them questions like I just did. What's the beginning sound of your name? What's the ending sound? Can you think of a word that rhymes? How many syllables? Can you break up your name into individual sounds? Whatever you're working on in your classroom or at home, but you can bring in this song to incorporate some more fun. Now remember, all of this is done orally. We haven't introduced any letters. We're just doing it orally. Tip number 2 is to label everything with your little one's name. If you can put their name up in their bedroom, that's awesome. You want to label their water bottle, their lunchbox if they're going to school, their backpack. You want to label the supplies in the classroom with individual students' names. You want them to see their name in print everywhere. And you want to point out their name so they can start associating their own name with what they see in print. They might not even know their letters yet, their letter names or their letter sounds, but they're starting to identify that that is their name. They're giving it meaning. They're realizing that when they see letters on a page, it has meaning. The letters go together to make a word, and that word has meaning. So label everything. Tip number 3 is now moving into spelling their name. Once your little one knows their name and they can play with the sounds, they're starting to see it in print, you want them to be able to spell it. I like to start by having my little ones orally spell their name. So again, I'm not worrying about if they know their letters yet, or if they can write it, or if they can build it yet. I'm just starting orally. So my favorite way to teach little ones how to spell their name is through a song. because songs are so catchy and it helps them get the beat, get the tune, and it helps them learn their names so much faster. So I am going to link below my absolute favorite name song. It's from Patty Shukla here on YouTube. I use this song with all of my students. I used it with my own little ones at home. You can use it for their first name, but if your little one is learning their last name, you can use it for that as well. The tune of this song can go with any amount of letters in a name, which is why I really like it. I'm not going to sing it for you, so you can go check out Patty's channel. Like I said, I link it below. But some people like to use the song Bingo to teach their little one their name, which I think is awesome, but that really only works if your name is 5 letters long. So, for example, if your name was Riley, that would be great. You could totally use the Bingo song. But for everybody else, if you don't have a name that's 5 letters, you really want to check out Patty's channel because this song is so catchy. And like I said, it works for first name, but it also works for last name when your little one's ready for that step. So singing that song over and over is going to help them learn how to spell their name. I like to do something called habit stacking, where I take an existing habit with my little ones and then I add on the singing of their name during that time every day so that it's consistent. So for example, if you're a parent at home and you always brush your little one's teeth in the morning and at night, then you can habit stack and you can make sure that when you're brushing their teeth, you're singing the song to them. That way you know you have sung it to them twice a day. And if you sing it twice a day for even a week, I guarantee that they're already gonna learn it. They're gonna learn how to spell their name because it's very catchy. But you could do it during other times of day too. But just try to be consistent and do it every day because the more they hear it, then they're gonna start singing it. We know that little ones pick up things so fast when it's in a song, then it's gonna be a lot easier for them to spell their name. All right, we are at tip number 4. Now we're getting into building their name with letter tiles. So now that they know what their name is, they know how to spell it orally, we wanna match those letters with letter tiles. Your little one might not be writing yet, and that's okay. You can just get a set of magnetic letters or alphabet letters from the store, and they're gonna start building their name. Now, you want them to be able to recognize and build their name, both uppercase and lowercase, because they are going to need to read and write their name in uppercase and lowercase eventually. So you can even show them how the letters line up. What the uppercase letter looks like, it's always uppercase in the beginning, but then for the rest of it, what the uppercase is and what the lowercase is. So they can see, even though this word has lowercase and this word has uppercase, it's still their name. It's the same name. Normally, kids will learn letter names and letter sounds of the letters in their own name the fastest, of course, because it means so much to them. Those letters in their name mean the most to them. So I think it's really important that you introduce the uppercase and the lowercase and that you're helping them build it with letter tiles. And my 5th tip for you to get your little one to learn their name is to have them write it. So we're finally at the writing portion of this video. We have talked about playing with the sounds in your little one's name. We want them to recognize their name. We want them to be able to orally spell their name, and we want them to be able to build their name. But of course, our ultimate goal is to have them write their name. I believe that little ones should learn how to write their name in all uppercase letters first before we teach them to write it with an uppercase letter and the rest lowercase. The reason I believe this is because uppercase letters are easier for our little ones to write. They all start from the top and work their way down, and they all occupy the same vertical space, and they just have a less sophisticated pencil stroke. Most of them are straight lines, could be diagonal, and then a circle, but they're much less sophisticated than lowercase letters. A lot of lowercase letters start in the middle of the page, but some start at the top. They take up different amounts of vertical space. Some go all the way under the bottom line. There's just a lot going on with lowercase letters. I really believe that when little ones are taught in a developmental way how to write their name in all letters, that it's going to be much better for them later on. We don't want our little ones to get into the habit where they have taught themselves pencil strokes to write their name, the letters in their name, and it's not the correct way. I've seen this time and time again. A lot of little ones starting at the bottom, a lot of them doing extra pencil strokes to try to make their letters because they weren't ready to write these lowercase letters when they were expected to. So in my opinion, I believe that you should have teach your little ones to write their name in all uppercase letters first, and then when they're ready, you're going to transition them from the first letter uppercase and the rest lowercase. And you have a long time to go before they need to be writing their name conventionally before they head to kindergarten. So you can work with them along this continuum before they get there. One of the things that I like to do with my students and my own kids at home is to have them practice writing their name every day if possible, but at least a couple of times a week. And the way I do that is with these name practice sheets. I have one name practice sheet for each month of the year, and they are editable. So when your little one is ready to write conventionally, you can type it in that way. But if they're still learning how to write it just in uppercase, you can type this in all uppercase. When you use these sheets, you put it in a clear plastic sheet or you laminate it, and then they will be able to spell their name. They'll be able to trace their name. They can build their name with letter tiles here, and then they can practice writing their name. And when you put this in a clear plastic sheet, you use the exact same sheet over and over for the entire month. And it's a really great way for them to practice their name, like I said, every day or a few times a week without you having to constantly be printing new pages for them. So this name practice bundle is in my shop on my website. I will link it below if you're interested. Like I said, there's a different one for each month of the year. Just has cute little pictures on the top, and it also has the name of the month. And so what I like to do is on the last day of the month, I like to have them actually write on this piece of paper, and then I save this, staple it all together, and then I have a really fun memory book of how they've written their name. So if you have a little one who's 3 and they do this for the entire year until they turn 4, you are going to be so blown away with how much their handwriting has changed from 3 to 4. So it's a really fun way to keep track of their growth with their handwriting skills, and also for them to practice each day or a couple times a week without you having to print out a ton of pages. And here's a bonus tip for you. The more multisensory you can make learning their name, the better. So once they know how to write their name, you can have them write it in shaving cream. You can take them outside with a cup of water and a paintbrush and have them paint it on the sidewalk. You can have them write it with sidewalk chalk. You can even have them write it in a tray of sand or a tray of rice. Anything that's going to bring in some more multisensory components is going to help them learn their name so much faster. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 tips plus a bonus tip on how to help your little one learn their name. By following these tips, your little one is going to be able to spell their name, write their name, recognize their name, but most importantly, they are going to understand that the sounds in their name go together to make their name, which is the foundation of what we want them to know for reading. When they know that sounds go together to make a word, that is going to help them so much on their reading journey when they're ready to start reading. So focus on the sounds, make sure it's multisensory, follow these tips, and your little one is going to be a rock star with their name. I'll see you soon. Bye.